It was an ordinary afternoon in the quiet town of Brooksville. The sun hung lazily in the sky, casting long shadows on the neat rows of suburban homes. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until a scream shattered the stillness. Emma, a young mother, stepped outside for just a moment to check on her garden, leaving her baby, Lily, in her crib inside the house. It was a momentary lapse in judgment that would soon turn into a race against time. But what Emma didn't know was that her cat, Whiskers, was already on the job, ready to save the day in ways she could never have imagined. It was around 2 p.m. when a sudden, acrid smell filled the air, smoke. Emma froze, her heart racing. She glanced at her neighbor's house, expecting to see some sign of a fire or burning trash, but all was quiet. But as her gaze shifted back toward her own home, her stomach dropped. Through the windows, she could see faint wisps of smoke curling into the sky from within. Panic set in. Her baby, Lily, was inside, asleep in her crib. "Whiskers," she shouted, her voice breaking. She bolted toward the front door, but in a moment of sheer terror, it wouldn't open. The lock had jammed. The front door wouldn't budge. It was then that Whiskers, her tabby cat, acted. Whiskers had always been a quiet, reserved cat, affectionate, but never overly bold. Yet in that moment, something inside her clicked. As the smoke thickened inside the house, she didn't hesitate. Whiskers darted towards the back door, her sleek body slipping between the door's crack. The door was locked, but Whiskers, quick and agile, managed to wriggle through an open window, landing with a soft thud inside the kitchen. Inside, little Lily lay in her crib, unaware of the growing danger. The fire had started in the kitchen, a stove left on after Emma's quick exit. The flames had spread rapidly, licking their way toward the nursery. Whiskers, who'd already begun to sniff the smoke, meowed loudly, startling Lily from her peaceful sleep. The baby stirred, rubbing her eyes as Whiskers jumped onto the crib, pawing gently at the baby's blanket. The heat from the flames was unbearable, but Whiskers didn't stop. She jumped up again, tapping at the baby's foot, her eyes wide and urgent. The baby, now fully awake, whimpered, sensing something was wrong. Whiskers meowed again, almost pleading, nudging Lily gently until the baby reached up to touch her. The little one instinctively followed the cat, trusting her. With nimble paws, Whiskers leapt off the crib, darting for the door. She meowed again, as if telling Lily to follow her. The baby, still groggy but trusting, crawled after the cat. Whiskers led her through the smoke-filled house, her fur singed from the heat but her determination unwavering. She guided Lily toward the back door, her sharp instincts leading them to safety. Meanwhile, outside, Emma's panic had escalated. She could see the smoke billowing from the windows, but her desperate attempts to enter the house were unsuccessful. The fire was spreading too quickly, and the front door was still locked. She screamed for help, but there was no time to waste. It was then that she saw Whiskers emerge from the back door, with Lily crawling after her. The cat, her fur burnt and her paws dirty from the soot, stepped out into the daylight, looking up at Emma as if to say, "I've done my part." Emma froze, her heart pounding in her chest. She rushed forward, scooping Lily into her arms as her tears flowed freely. "Whiskers, thank you. Thank you so much," Emma cried, holding her baby close. The cat, weary but proud, sat down beside them, her green eyes flickering between Emma and Lily, ensuring they were safe. It wasn't long before sirens pierced the air, and emergency vehicles arrived on the scene. Paramedics rushed to Emma and Lily, quickly checking them for signs of smoke inhalation or burns. Emma, still in shock, kept glancing at Whiskers, who sat quietly by her side, her tail flicking lazily back and forth. One of the paramedics, a veteran named Mike, approached the cat, his expression filled with amazement. "I've seen dogs rescue people, but a cat," he said, shaking his head. "This is incredible. That cat saved her life." Another paramedic, Sarah, bent down to pet Whiskers, her face full of awe. "I've never seen anything like this before." That cat knew exactly what to do. But as they continued to assess the situation, they noticed something even more remarkable. Whiskers wasn't just brave, she was injured. Her fur had been singed in places, and there were slight burns on her paws from the flames. Yet, she didn't seem to care. She remained calm, sitting proudly beside Emma and Lily, her eyes full of quiet understanding. "How did you even get into the house?" Mike asked Emma, still trying to piece everything together. "The front door was locked, and the back door was blocked by fire." Emma looked at him, still shaking, her voice barely a whisper. Whiskers, she just knew. She wriggled through the window and led Lily out. She didn't hesitate. She knew exactly where to go. The paramedics exchanged stunned glances. "I think we're all witnessing a miracle," Sarah murmured, her voice full of disbelief. As the fire department arrived and began to extinguish the flames, Whiskers remained close by, her gaze fixed on the house. She was exhausted, her body covered in soot, but she didn't leave Emma's side. Only when the flames were fully out did Whiskers finally relax, her body slumping with the weight of the ordeal. Emma, who had feared the worst, looked down at the cat. "You saved her. You saved both of us," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "You're our hero." Whiskers gave a small meow in response, as if saying, "I'm just doing what any cat would do for her family." The fire had caused significant damage to the kitchen, but thanks to Whiskers' quick thinking, the damage to Emma's family was minimal. Whiskers had saved Lily's life and given Emma the chance to hold her child close once again. In the days that followed, the story of the heroic cat spread throughout Brooksville, and soon, people from all around were calling Emma, asking about the remarkable cat that had saved a life. The fire was under control, the damage was being assessed, but one thing remained clear: Whiskers was the true hero of the day. Emma couldn't imagine what would have happened if her brave cat hadn't been there to guide Lily to safety. As the paramedics left and the firemen packed up their gear, Emma sat on the porch, holding Lily in her arms, with Whiskers curled up in her lap. There was no question in Emma's mind, no matter how small or overlooked, her cat had proven herself to be a protector, a friend, and a hero in every sense of the word.